Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the technical breakout sessions earlier. I'm now delighted to invite our ASEAN sales leaders to share how we're helping our customers leverage on key industry insights to unlock future growth opportunities. So maybe, Shiv, I'd like to start off with you, right? I think the future of hybrid work means that companies have to deal with a dispersed workforce. Can you share in terms of, whether practical tips for companies?
Thanks, Sharon. Thank you for that. So hybrid work is here to stay, right? And I think our customers and companies like us have realized that. I mean, in the past, say 2 years back or pre-pandemic, we had everyone sitting in the office. You had the occasional person working from home. And then during the pandemic, everyone kind of went to their homes and started working from there, putting a lot of pressure on the IT systems of the organization. And now we have a future where half the people are going to be half employees will work from home and the other half come into office, perhaps on a rotational basis. And so obviously this is quite challenging from a collaboration and from a productivity perspective, and that's the business I look after. So we're seeing and hearing a few things from our customers. I think the first thing we're hearing is, what is the new collaboration experience? Is it just meetings? And that's sometimes we ourselves and our customers get confuse the two terms. Collaboration is not just about meetings. It's about the end-to-end stack of how to get work done for our employees and their end users. And it's about calling, the meeting workflow, before, after, and during, content management, and all of those pieces, all done under a secure umbrella, which is easily manageable by our customers. The second piece about hybrid work is you'll have a future where employees can choose where they want to work from. And they'll have more flexibility in how they actually connect to these platforms, the devices that they choose. As an example, during my weekly team meeting, I've got 2 people joining from the local Starbucks. I've got a few people working from home, some in the office, right? And initially, my question to the Starbucks folks was, hey, are you sure this is actually safe using that public Wi-Fi? Mm-hmm. And the response was, hey, it's WebEx. You don't have to worry about security. It's built in, right? And then the final piece is, as folks come back into the office, it's 50 to 60% of the workforce. So our customers have to think about their workspace strategy. And we hear stories about some of our customers giving up office space. But that shrunk office space is really going to be repurposed because employees are not coming in for the same reason they did in the past, right? In the past, they had to come in. It was mandated. Now they're coming to get a specific task done face-to-face with a few people, some people joining remotely. And some of our customers are not set up for that environment, so they need to be thinking about what they need to do there. Mm-hmm. And the second piece is, when they are joining a meeting, it's going to be hybrid, so which means that some of you in the office, some of them, again, are dialing in from outside. And that experience has to be reimagined and strategized. So from a Cisco perspective, we've done a few things to kind of help our customers on this journey. The first one is about inclusiveness, and this really means giving the same experience, whether you're in the room or you're dialing in from anywhere, on the go, in your car, or at home. And one feature I'd like to talk about is real-time translation, right? And I look after ASEAN with 7 official languages. One of them is English, but the other 6 find it challenging sometimes to follow when you have English, especially when you speak as fast as I do, right? So the first thing I normally do in my meetings is turn on real-time translation, so folks from Thailand and Vietnam can follow easily and really just feel more included and be part of that meeting. The second thing I want to talk about is end-to-end security. Now, with the way hybrid work's going, you're in your home Wi-Fi or perhaps in a public Wi-Fi, you need to ensure that the security of your communications is top-notch, right? Yeah. So we've built an end-to-end encryption on all of our meetings and calls, and also inline data loss prevention, which obviously gives our customers and their users the security and the trust that the platform's safe. So in short, I think we've done a lot of work, and we hope that we have the best collaboration platform out there. And with that, I'll hand it back to you.
Thanks, Shiv. So this actually, presents a very good segue to security, right, John Hutt? So maybe I can turn the next question to you. So this suggests that the home network or public Wi-Fi infrastructure will need to be secure. What advice do you have for companies in terms of how they should view security?
Thanks, Sharon. So there are 3 aspects to security which I feel customers now have to be looking at. Right? The first point is alluded to by Shiv earlier on with respect to WebEx. Security by design. Trustworthy systems is something that Cisco puts a lot of focus on. And why we do that from a whole company perspective is to make sure that we deliver solutions that we manage the vulnerability, the risks, ensuring the platform integrity, and also remediate faster if we've got security threats, right? WebEx being an example, we established a Cisco Cloud framework in which we subject all our solutions, whether on-prem or the SaaS-based solution, into a very, very rigorous security assessment that's industry-based, whether is it ISO 27001, SOC 2, and things like that, right? To ensure that when we deliver such solutions to our customer for use, they have assurance that we've addressed the end-to-end security aspects. So that's number one. Secondly, also alluded to the fact by you earlier on, we are increasingly into a hybrid workforce, right? Where it's no longer a fact that everybody is going to come to the office to work. It's going to be very diverse. It's going to be from remote locations. That brings a lot of new security challenges to our customers because the traditional perimeter of the security is gone, right? It's borderless. So we have got to deal with it with a new paradigm, and we call it Cisco Zero Trust. In simple terms, it talks about how you protect end users' identity, endpoints, the network that is accessing to, all the way to the applications that the users is accessing to. How do you make sure that you conduct a security assessment to make sure that every connection is legitimate and authenticated, right? So we came up with Workforce, which is very much dealing with end user identity and endpoint security. Workplace, which is the network that you traverse into, and then eventually, into the applications and workload, and we call it workload. So 3 Ws, very easy to understand, right? Last but not least, if you look at the whole security paradigm, it's becoming very, very complex. We have a lot of customers that deployed, 30, 40, 50 applications, security applications across the entire organizations. But it has not helped them to really identify and respond to threat faster. Why? Because there's a very, very fragmented market out there in which security solutions are not working together. So Cisco has gone into what we call SecureX to make sure that when you deliver and deploy security solutions inside your environment, they are interworking and exchanging information with each other so that when you detect once, you protect against a threat across the entire environment. So in summary, security by design, zero trust, and as well as a SecureX for simplifying security.
Oh, thank you so much, John, for sharing your insights. Yeah. So maybe I'll turn the next question to Ronald, right? So as the parameter of what a company needs to secure expands from the core to the edge, suggests that the network has a big role to play, right? Can you share with us how Cisco is bringing network and security together?
Thank you, Sharon. So from the previous 2 speakers, you noticed that actually COVID has changed the way we work, live, and play, right? But one thing that remains consistent is the network. Network remains the glue to glue all these elements together, be it in the office, at home, or in play, right? So what Cisco has done is that when we look at the past 20 months, right, things in the enterprise have shifted. The way we design our offices, the way our staff come to office to work, the devices management. So for example, from our campus, right now we are looking at enabling more Wi-Fi 6. In addition to that, we are incorporating software that allow you to do density planning. For example, our DNA spaces, together with our Wi-Fi 6, now allow you to plan for a workspace of the future. Capacity planning to look into 18 months down the road, what kind of capacity you should be providing for your staff. At the same time, within the campus itself, you notice that we also have incorporated security solution within the campus itself. Our ETA remains a very highly adopted solution because over the past 20 months, we have seen so many security breaches within the office as well as outside the office. Our ETA now allows you to take a look deep into unwanted traffic packets that are detrimental to your campus network. So moving from campus, we also have visibility right now built into the core network that allows us to inspect packet and give you visibility from the campus all the way to the cloud to see which segments are having challenges in terms of connectivity. That is very important in this time. And moving on from the campus now to the branches. The way Cisco, we deal with branches right now has got a new dimension, right? We are shifting from the old traditional branch office to the new generation of branch office. In the past, 80% of traffic is within the campus. But now, 80% of traffic actually traverses across WAN. Therefore, our SD-WAN and SASE solution becomes all the more important. We are bringing not just the SD-WAN, we'll bring security together with the SD-WAN right down to the branches. Our security now is being incorporated into the branch office itself, not just at the backend data center, but we provide security to the edge. And with that, we can prioritize traffic, users, and application based on the need and demand. And all these are based on zero touch, which means that very little human intervention, all through a dashboard for planning, for provisioning. So with this end-to-end, now we realize that for this whole architecture, we can now be able to provide the future secure cloud network from the campus all the way to the data center to the cloud. So that is what Cisco value add, and we are probably the only one company that can provide end-to-end from the campus to the remote branches to the data center all the way to the cloud. Thank you, Sharon.
Hey, thanks, Ronald. That's great. Yeah. So I think maybe we shift gears a little bit because, the future of hybrid workplace is not just, the only industry trend that we heard from our country managers. We also heard about them sharing the future of modern enterprises, trends like, cloud adoption and the proliferation of apps. So as apps become the business, how are we helping our customers build better experiences?
Thank you, Sharon. Great question. In fact, I like what Ronald mentioned today. He talked about network being the piece that glues together. Junhua mentioned security by design, and Shiv talking about hybrid work. All of this, it's only going to add the amount of complexity and traffic for enterprises. As users of any service, be it you or me, whether it's a traveling ticketing service or food when we order, if we do not get a response in 20, 30 seconds, we'll end up switching off the application and going on to another vendor. Mm-hmm. And by 2023, it is expected 500 million new applications are going to come on board, and $23 billion are going to be invested to develop these applications. The complexity is only going to get enormous. And like what you mentioned, applications are going to be the enterprise, going to be the revenue generator, going to be their brand. And if this is not managed well and taken care of well enough, it's going to be detrimental for the enterprise sustainability. What Cisco brings to the table is full stack observability. What does that mean? It is essentially visibility that gives you insights that gives you actionable tasks or activities that you can do. And the solution that we bring to the table from a Cisco perspective under the full stack observability is app dynamics or application dynamics, inter-site services to manage the data center, infrastructure as a service or software as a service, and 1,000 eyes for the network. What this brings to the table for the customers, which other technologies don't bring, is if you take a typical enterprise today, there will be a DevOps team, there will be a network operations team, infrastructure ops team, and a security operations team. And when an application experiences slowness or it has a problem, they will flag it out to one of those other functional units, network, infrastructure, and they keep going around the table. It becomes a blaming game. And the mean time to innocence to prove that can take anywhere between hours to days, and you have lost the end customer who wanted to place an order with you. Mm-hmm. What we bring to the table with FD, Intersight, and 1,000 Eyes is when there is an application problem, FD in a single dashboard gives you the particular issue. You can either intervene manually or automatically can do the necessary corrections, be it at the network level or at the infrastructure level, either by spinning up a VM or increasing the memory and automatically solving the problem that the end user is having and ensuring the end user has a seamless experience. And like many of the other speakers alluded to, going forward, the complexity is only going to increase many times fold. It's not going to get easier. If we do not have this automation tool, I think it will be very challenging. And in our data center earlier breakout sessions, you heard all the customers talk about how they use Cisco technologies for visibility, insight, and actions. I hope that help answer the particular concerns that customers may have in terms of application experience. Thank you, Sharon.
Definitely. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. One of the key things that companies miss out on in their rush for technology adoption is that they do not deploy all the features and solutions. Shashank, maybe I'll turn the question to you, right? Can you share how Cisco is helping our customers to enable that?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question, right, Sharon? And you're right. And the reason companies do that is because it's hard. right? And especially when you're linking together 4 architectures or going beyond as well, it's really, really hard. So there's 2 things that I think we bring to the table that allows our customers to get the greatest value out of the multi-architecture technology solutions that they deploy. One I would say is enterprise agreements, and the other is lifecycle services. Enterprise agreements is an interesting one. So right, but some of the people who are watching may not know, is that Cisco is already one of the largest software companies in the world. And we are bringing a lot of the similar commercial constructs that software companies typically use to bear as well. Enterprise agreements is one of them. And the reason you would buy an enterprise agreement in terms of adoption is for the same 3 reasons. It's simplicity, agility, and predictability. Right? Simplicity, 1 contract. Right? For all the architectures, all the software you have within that, you can use just 1 contract that runs for the same period of time for that. Agility, you can speed up or not speed up your deployment based on your context, your circumstances. Pandemic has made the world more unknown right now, but you can take care of that through the agility in terms of that the enterprise agreement allows. And finally, predictability. I mean, not only are our enterprise agreements very attractively priced for multi-architecture, but you lock in that price for the duration of the agreement. Right? So enterprise agreements means that when you are buying a multi-architecture technology solution, you have some things less to worry about as you're rolling it out. Let me switch gears. Lifecycle services, right? And the gamut of lifecycle or the range of lifecycle services is the other thing that helps actually in the deployment. And I guess the best way to describe that is through an example of a customer. So this is the central government IT agency of one of the countries in ASEAN, largest software-defined campus network deployment in the world, right? And not only did it have enterprise networking, but it also had security and data center in there, right? And we're talking 63 buildings, 99 agencies, 60,000 people, big, complicated, and has to be done right, right? How did we help? We helped right in the beginning in the onboarding and implementation. And this we did hand in hand with the partner, right? So we primed the deployment for the first 10 buildings. The partner did the remaining, but we are supporting them, right? So the partner is also learning how to do it better. So that happened across the 63 buildings. Next is the engagement and the adoption. To do that, we ran accelerators for each of the architectures that were there. And the accelerators, think of it as a multi-day workshop, which allows the IT teams, both the project team as well as the operations team, to get familiar with the solution in a very hands-on type of environment, right? In fact, some of our customers there were so happy with this, they thought actually the accelerator was the biggest value of the entire solution, right? Lastly, maintenance, right? So not only do they have maintenance services from Cisco, but they also have embedded high-touch operations managers and engineers to ensure that they have the best reactive operation support. And we are in discussions now to also deploy proactive operation support, which is our business critical services, right? As you know, it takes insights and analytics to keep the network optimized. You get the entire range of lifecycle services going from implementation to adoption to optimization through this, right? And what does this result in? The business outcome it gives you is this complex, large network they can actually manage from a single dashboard or a single pane of glass. And it was invaluable when they had to pivot that entire set of agencies to working from home during the pandemic. They were able to make the changes in a matter of days rather than weeks. Right? So it's been a great experience for them, and we are very proud of what we've been able to deliver to them.
Thanks, Shashank. Thanks everyone for sharing your perspectives, right? I think you would agree with me that Cisco enables our customers to collaborate securely from anywhere, leveraging any network, data center, cloud services, and I think with observability, we can optimize service delivery and ensure great customer lifecycle journeys. Thank you.
Thank you.